Alright, and welcome to Triangle Congruency, Level 1. Now, in this very first example, notice that we have two triangles. What we have is we have triangle A, B, C, and we have triangle, looks like E, F, G. E, F, G. And for the record, whenever we're comparing two corresponding polygons, the letters in their order should also be in the same arrangement. So if I say A, B, C, and I'm trying to compare it to E, F, G, well, it means in both cases I'm starting at A and I'm starting at E. And then my next one is B, so I'm going around this way, and then I'm going to F, and I'm going around this way. So the order of the letters really does matter. It tells us that side AB, so that's side AB, is corresponding to side EF. So very, very important. Now, we have 5 different properties that allow us to determine if two triangles are congruent. And if they don't meet any one of these 5 properties, then you can assume that you cannot prove that they're congruent. So what are my options? Well, SSS, which stands for side, side, side. SAS, which stands for side, angle, side. ASA, angle, side, angle. AAS, which is angle, angle, side. And this weird one, which is called hypotenuse leg. And I say it's weird because it doesn't use the traditional S's or A's of the other 4. Okay, so as we look at this, what you have to do is find markings that demonstrate congruency. Well, we notice that there's 2 tick marks right here for side FE, and there's 2 tick marks right here for side AB. And so 2 tick marks and 2 tick marks, that indicates congruent sides. So what I know is that AB, side AB, is congruent to side EF. Okay, remember, order matters. Okay, now continuing across this way, I also see a tick mark here and a tick mark there, so those 2 sides are congruent. And I see 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3 tick marks for sides CA and GE. So what I notice is that I have a property of congruence that's a side, a property of congruence that's a side, and a property of congruence that's a side. So as I go around this triangle, I know that this triangle is congruent to this triangle by side, 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 or by SSS. Okay, so this would be an example of side, side, side. Alright, let's see another example. Okay, here we have example 2, and we see 2 triangles, but sometimes they'll draw the triangles so that they're touching. I'm going to draw a vertical line through point C to kind of really show you that separation of the 2 triangles. Now, what you want to do here is you want to identify the sets of corresponding congruent information. So what do I mean by that? Well, I look at this angle at A, B, C, and I see there's 2 arcs there indicating that that angle is congruent to CED over here where there are 2 arcs. And because that's an angle, I'm going to label it as an A for angle. And here I see these 2 tick marks and these 2 tick marks. Remember, tick marks is an indication of congruent sides, so we'll label that an S. Oh, here, let's label that an A, why not? And then here in the middle, we see 1 arc indicating that that's congruent to that 1 arc right there, which is of course another angle. So as I start at one side of the information and I read it around the triangle, what I see is ASA, or angle, side, angle. So this would be an example of angle, side, angle. Okay, let's go to a third example. Okay, here I've drawn 2 triangles, triangle ABC. Let's just go ahead and note that, triangle ABC, and triangle A prime, B prime, C prime. Okay, and what I want to do this time, instead of giving you the markings, is I want to actually create a triangle that's congruent by side, angle, side. Okay, so what does that mean? Well, let's choose a side, and let's put 2 tick marks. And my next question would be, what side corresponds to AB? Well, AB corresponds to A prime, B prime. Okay, cool. And then the next thing I want is an angle. So let's go here. Let's just go to angle B. So angle B is in the middle. Over here, B prime is in the middle. We could call it, of course, by its best name, angle ABC, angle A prime, B prime, C prime. And then let's go ahead and make this side BC congruent to this side B prime, C prime. Now, did I have to use 1 tick mark? No, I could have used 3. Doesn't matter so long as they have the same number. And as I go around this, I see that we have a side, an angle, and a side, and a side, an angle, and a side. And so what we can say is that these two triangles are congruent. Also note that we've actually just proven they're what kind of triangles? Well, these are in fact would be an example of isosceles. So don't forget about those guys. But yes, this would be congruent by side, angle, side. Okay, let's go ahead and see two more examples to wrap up. Okay, here we have example 4. And notice that this one is one where two triangles have been smushed together. You can see that they're smushed together on this side. And because this side is the same for both triangles, this is something we'll just call it congruent to itself. So here we have a side. Here we have the marking that this angle is congruent to that angle. And then up here we have another angle. Now this is the one that's typically the most confusing for students. So always just kind of go to the nearest information. So if I start with this angle right here, would it make more sense for me to go to the left where I skip over this side and then I hit the next piece of information? Or would it make sense for me to skip over this side and to skip over that angle right there? And there I would be skipping over two pieces of information. So it's not the closest direction to the next piece of congruent information. So here I go angle, angle, side. And I can tell you that this top triangle is congruent to the bottom triangle by angle, angle, side. Next, down here, whenever you have a right angle, the angle that is across from it is the hypotenuse. Okay, this is the only time that we have a hypotenuse. Okay, so if that's a hypotenuse, and let's see here, we have a hypotenuse, and the other side of this triangle is called a leg, well, it would only stand to reason that this is an example of hypotenuse leg. Now, one quick note, typically students will get in the trap of thinking that this is something called angle, angle, side, and there's actually nothing called angle, angle, side. But notice, so we know that there's nothing called angle, angle, side, but notice that this is in fact a right angle. So if you see a right angle and then a side, right angle, side, side, understand that that is the order, right angle, side, side, that we call hypotenuse leg. Alright, I hope this video helps, and I'll catch you in our level 2 video.